Good afternoon. My name is Mark McCoy II, and this is class 508, Interpersonal Communication, and this is my project. As I said before, I am Mark McCoy. The following presentation will contain the knowledge base I have gained over the past 8 weeks in my interpersonal communication coursework. I will share what I have learned and how I can potentially apply the knowledge in my current position as a juvenile probation officer as well in the community or personal life. Throughout this course, I have obtained usable strategies, techniques, and insight. To quote Francis Weekle, clients and helping relationships make progress and feel understood. My goal throughout this course was to build onto my communication skills and to strengthen my weaknesses. That way I can create better relationships with my clients and the public I serve. According to Stewart's passage, an interpersonal communication is the type of communication that occurs when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personnel. Stewart, 2012, page 32. Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, by only such is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. What does Stewart have to say about communication? Stewart defines communication or communicating as the continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. There are 6 features of communication: meaning, choice, culture, identities, and conversation. 1. We live in a world of meaning. Communication is the process of making the meaning. 2. Communication involves choices, some considered, some automatic. Culture and communication coincide. Culture features affect communication. 4. All communications involve negotiating identities. 5. All the most influential communication events are conversations. Stewart, 2012, page 16, 17. My overarching goal would be to create a reputation of being an empathetic, supportive listener. I set this goal for myself and my general life. However, I would like it to be a greater part of my professional life. In relation to my overarching goal, I am reaching to better understand my communication and my listening style. While learning myself, I will be able to better utilize myself as a tool in my career and a son of the Lord. I would like to be able to better assist individuals that are struggling with their own personal communication and become a coach or mentor to assist them in better at communicating their struggles, their strengths, and their emotions. I would like to be a listening ear and voice for those who I work with in the community, which are the at-risk adolescents that are usually judged and stereotyped inaccurately. James 1:19. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. That's one of my favorites. Amen. Who am I? What my background may say about my communication. It is extremely helpful to know about each of our clients' background to create a better understanding of our clients and communication. That being said, just the more you get out of your clients, it's just easier to get information and to build rapport with our clients, and just clients don't want to disclose certain information of just their childhood because it might bring back memories. So, but let me tell you about myself. Grew up in a broken home. Got a brother that's 26. Father is a pastor, Mark McCoy Sr. Mom hasn't really been present in my life. Last time I seen her was about 2006. That's when I graduated. Grew up in a military family. Spent some time in Germany. It was kind of tough. I mean, I'm glad to this day I really don't remember much of my younger years, just my mom not being there. Just stories like my dad knows, so I'm glad they kind of kept that away from me, or I don't remember it. But just growing up, it was always me, my dad, my brother, and things was hard for my dad, just seeing him work hard every day and trying to support me and my brother best as he could. It was to the point to where he'll give us his last dollar for us to eat lunch. I mean, that's what a parent's supposed to do. But ended up moving to a place in Virginia called Big Island. Spent my elementary years out there. Met a lot of great people, friends, teachers. Um, Ended up, me and my brother joined the Boy Scouts. I got all the way up to my Eagle Scout. Kind of aged out, and just found interest in other things. Which to this day, I wish I could have got my Eagle project done and put it on my resume. But in life, we live and we learn and grow. Um, Dad always kept us involved in sports, some kind of activities, making sure that grades was always good. He always pushed us. He pushed us to be better than him. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just just my dad ended up finding another wife, and then she had two kids, and which then years later they ended up getting divorced, then back to square one, me, my dad, my brother. So I had a lot of changing, and then to this day, my stepmother was I call her my mother because she's been there since I was like 13. She also has two kids, love them to death, helped raise them as well. Um, then I went to um, in high school. Yeah, then I'm going to high school, and I was freshman of the year. My freshman year, just I guess popular kid. Um, I really enjoyed my high school years. Probably second to my college years. But I say that because in high school it was a lot of politics, and I was very big on basketball, football, and just always just tried to, you know, be better than everybody else. But politics just stood in the way, so I just kept quiet and did what I was supposed to do. And there was this years where my dad would take me off the basketball team because he didn't like me he didn't like coming to the games and watching me sit the bench, which I completely understand. But at the same time, I mean, then my senior year, basketball, uh, thought I made the team. I was gonna be a captain and everything, and my best friend called me one weekend, and he told me I didn't make the team. So long story short, the head coach had him call me to tell me that I didn't make the team. So as you can tell, I've been going through some things in my life that I just kind of hurt deep down in the heart, but at the same time, it's just making me better as a man and growing. Um, Graduated high school with a 3.7 National Honor Society, letter academic, um, awards for who's among high school students, um, top 20 percentile in my class. Um, I went to CVCC for a semester. Didn't quite want to know where I wanted to go. Stayed at home, saved some money, worked. Um, then I went to Radford, 2007 spring. Oh, met some great sweet mates, best friends to this day. They'll do anything for me, I do anything for them. Um, like I said, I met a lot of people, and I love networking, just meeting new people, seeing different cultures, and experience different things. And what I mean about experience different things, I almost failed out my freshman year of college. Like I said, I was in high school at 3.7, and I was not going to class, just out partying and sleeping in and doing everything but going to class. So I'm glad to this day they had a sorts program. So I got back on track and stayed focused. Then I hit another speed bump down the way. I ended up joining the fraternity and had the pledging, so grades dropped a little bit. But yet again, those guys I pledged with, those 8 other guys I pledged with, I'd do it with them all over again, just for the experience. Played club football at Radford. We were the first club team to ever win a football championship. We were number one in out of the United States. Like out of all the other schools that had club football teams, we were number one. And we ended up winning the championship game in Radford. They were they were down five, and they were driving, and 15 seconds left, and they threw it to receiver, and I was there and picked it off, and the game was over. So that was just one of my most memorable memories while I was there at Radford. I got my jersey hanging up there. and uh, just meeting people great, and made me better as a person, as an individual, a leader, and also played club basketball. We also won a championship there. Went to JMU tournament and just beat everybody. We didn't lose a game. So that being said, I ended up graduating, and took me a while, about 6 months, to find a job, and had a child on the way. My baby girl, Raiden, love her to death. So like I said, it took me 6 months to find a job. I found a correctional job as a correctional officer. Took that job up in Waynesburg area near my father. Let me backtrack before I got there. So I met my significant other in Radford, 2009. Uh, wouldn't change it for the world. Bright, brilliant, smart, uh, just always on her P's and Q's. Just knows how to handle business, and that's something that you can't teach. And I love her for that. But back to the task at hand. It took me about 6 to 8 months to find a job, and find a job as a correctional officer, and then worked there for about 6 months. Before that, I enjoyed the academy. They showed me how to shoot guns. I qualified and was certified in all guns. Got exposed to gas. So just overall experience, just in my life, I've been through different types of experiences just to make me better as an individual. But ended up getting fired there. Long story short, I was on my probationary period, and they let me go because I came in late due to inclement weather. I wasn't trying to risk my life to drive an hour to work so ended up waiting another 5 months. Found a job in Charlottesville as a residential advisor. Worked there for 2.5 years. Met some great people. They taught me a lot of things. Training, just handled with care. Um, what what really got me in my position today is the kids that I started getting involved with. Just the rapport I have with kids. I never had problem with any of my kids or my pod. They respected me. I respected them. So it was just heartwarming just to know that these kids respected me, and know this, not to make Mr. McCoy mad. So I just had a kid tell me, Mr. McCoy, you'd be a great peer. I wish you was my peer. So I started thinking that wouldn't be a bad. So ended up doing my due diligence there for 2.5 years, and left the job without even having a job at hand. I was just getting stressed out, and I felt like people were attacking me, so I just left and got up out of there, and was interviewing all over the state of Virginia for juvenile probation officers, and I was about ready to give up. I was about ready to go to sales and sell vehicles, but God told me, "No, that's not your calling." And I got a call from Roanoke, and three people to this day, I really do appreciate them for giving me a chance. That was all that was needed, a chance. I got told over and over, you need case management experience. You need case management experience. Case management can be taught. But anywho, so I ended up getting a job, and this is where I'm at today. I'm taking this class just to get just to gain knowledge, and just to broaden my horizon, and just showing these kids different techniques and strategies of communicating, and just showing them that there's ways of out of poverty. Poverty don't mean that you got to be poor. I mean, it could be mentally, physically, emotionally. So, but my relationship, my fatherhood, like I said before, I enjoy my daughter. I see her as me growing up, like the years that I don't remember, that I'm glad I don't remember, but seeing her having a different life is, growing up is good, and I'm very appreciative of that. My career goals, I don't know, I got mixed feelings. I'm close with a judge, and he told me that I should go out for it, uh, or either I'm thinking being the first male black director for the Department of Juvenile Justice. So end of the day, the sky's the limit. I'm going to trainings, gaining knowledge. So I look forward to my life and helping my family grow and meeting new people. My behavioral blend. Now, on to my behavioral blend. With the uniquely you assessment, I obtained a greater understanding of how my two selves communicate. Although parts were very surprising, other parts had me responding like, yeah, that's definitely me. Graph 1 assesses me as active slash task oriented and active slash people oriented. Graph 2 assesses me as active slash task oriented, active slash people oriented, and passive slash task oriented. Characteristics of Blend 1. Specific personality types from a public perspective. When individuals are either in their work environments or in settings away from their homes or comfort zones, people tend to have different motivations in public, at work, or away from where they live than they have in private, at home, or familiar environment. And for my blend, I was a DI or ID or a D. This is expected of me. I'm a dynamic influencer, dominating, directing, demanding, determined, decisive, doing, inspiring. Just when I'm at work, I always want to be myself, but at the same time, you got to be professional and just got. There's always people watching, so just got to act accordingly. Characteristics of Blend 2. This section is designed to describe specific personality types from a private perspective when individuals are either in their own environments or in settings among friends and relatives. People tend to have different motivations in public, at home, or away from work than they have in public, at work, or among casual friends or strangers. I'm a DIC, DCI, or ICD, or IDC, or CID, or CDI. This is me, dominant, inspiring, cautious. Basically, when I'm around my friends, I just want to be the life of the party and just uplift people and just like I said, I just always been a leader. I mean, just from like I said, my college years, just playing with the football and basketball captains, and it was just something that always inspired me. I mean, I've never been a follower, so I'm not gonna really elaborate on this too much. But my D-type behavior, basic motivation, challenge and control, desires freedom from control, authority, varied activities, difficult assignments, opportunities for advancement, choices rather than ultimatums. I type for behavior. Respond best to leader who is fair and also a friend, provides social involvement, provides recognition of abilities, offers rewards for risk taking. C-type behavior. Total support is not always possible. Thorough explanation is not everything. Deadlines must be met. More optimism will be led to greater success. Here's a few I thought what could be some communication barriers. Perception. Quote from the book: a picture through a lens, a picture through a lens, not through a window. That's just saying that how people just are already judging, stereotyping, and already have their mind made up or perception of what this person is before they get to meet him. Basically, judging a book judging a book by its cover. Perception can be one of the greatest communication barriers. Perception is our view as one member of communicating team. Imagine how many views or perceptions you may come across on a daily basis. Stereotyping. Placing others in group based off appearance, socioeconomic status, culture, gender, or race. There are two types of stereotypes, positive and negative, that also vary in their intensity. Um, Positive stereotypes could be all African Americans are athletic, or all Caucasians can shoot a basketball, all Asians are smart. Um, Negative stereotypes could be all Muslims are terrorists. Um, just it varies. Bias, holding personal perception against the communicator. I picked these three because I feel like they all tie in together. Other barriers, just language barriers, stress factors, emotional factors, and noise pollution. Strategies to overcome. Spend greater amount of time focusing on listening instead of allowing yourself to become sidetracked. We should avoid overloading our communications so that we can quantify the communication at hand. Do not allow outside noises to affect the communication that is occurring. Do not make snap judgments. Do not allow errors, and situational factors. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. As Stewart explains in the book, that if we become more aware of the ways you perceive others, you can learn to generalize less. That is, to be more sensitive to unique and distinctive features others make available to you as you communicate with them. Stewart, 2012. My plan of action: practice the talker-listener process, allowing for each party to take their turn instead of both parties just yelling and screaming. Nothing's getting accomplished. Nobody can hear anybody. Staying aware of the flat brain syndrome, like I said before. If both parties are arguing, you're not getting anywhere in life. You're not progressing. You're regressing. Concentrating on not only the verbal language but as well nonverbal language. Straying away from the use of authoritative language. Spend time committed to listening to understand instead of listening to respond. Philippians 4:9. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it in practice, and the God of peace will be with you. The book by Peterson, Why Don't We Listen Better? Peterson states that communication is sharing information and connecting with others. The text expresses communication as two levels. Level 1, communication. Communicating gives and receives information and discussing points of view. Level 2, communicating goes deeper than words. It moves us toward more satisfying relationships where we develop trust, intimacy, and personal sharing. And for my closing statement,